Remember to subscribe and enable notifications so you can get all my content and keep up with news about the upcoming Dragon Ball Daima anime and whatever else coming down the pipeline, including the Dragon Ball Super manga. But if you happen to miss a video, head on over to the playlist portion right here on your screen, and right here it'll say Dragon Ball Daima Web Anime News. That is the playlist with all of the news videos covering the upcoming 2024 40th anniversary web/streaming anime Dragon Ball Daima. So again, playlists, it's right there, yo. Keep up to date with all the news here on Geekdom 101. It feels like it's been a year. It's actually been over a year since I've had this man right here on the Geekdom 101 YouTube channel. Mr. Senpai is back, enjoying his life for the past year while we've all suffered. I'm just kidding. We haven't all suffered, but I'm glad that he's back here. We're talking about Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 102 because now that we are out of the superhero arc, now that we're done with it, we got a lot. We can now speculate and we can also tease and preview what's coming up. We have a lot to talk about today because the story is transitioning from the superhero arc into something new, and they haven't named the next arc yet. They haven't made an official announcement yet, but that's definitely coming. So Mr. Senpai's here. We're going to get into a bunch of topics, including Goku versus Gohan, which is being teased, other Gohan possibilities. We're going to talk a little bit about Vegeta, a little bit about Black Frieza, and make sure you listen to the entire video. And when we're done, please feel free to comment down below, not just on what we said, but your predictions for Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 102. So yeah, bro, Dragon Ball's back with new stuff, and I'm so happy. I don't know if it'll be good or bad yet, but I'd rather this than another 6 months of like superhero retellings.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be better. I mean, you got Diamond in the background. You got this, a whole new arc coming up.
Sparking
It's
Zero
gonna be a
this
good
year.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, dude, new
And
year,
and
awesome.
2024 is the year of the dragon on the Chinese calendar. So that's crazy timing. So let's go ahead and talk about chapter 102. First of all, this is the first question I'm going to pose to you. The Red Ribbon Army's been destroyed when Cell Max went out, and Magenta, he's dead, and Dr. Heto's now part of Capsule Corp. Do you think we are done with the Red Ribbon Army now and whatever's left? Carmine and 15 are kind of comedy fodder now. Are we done with this? Is there more for them to do?
Yeah, so we are and we aren't. We aren't in the sense that they're not gonna be like a major antagonist. They're not gonna be a major villain anymore. But the reason that Toyotaro is still keeping them around is because this arc is a mini arc. It's a transition period,
Yeah,
right? Kind of like that copy Vegeta. You guys remember copy Vegeta? So
in the
same
anime.
exact thing. They're gonna keep him just so that they can give something for Trunks and Gotenks to do in the meantime, since Gohan is going off worlds potentially. We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Right.
But so they gotta give them something to do by giving go Trunks and Gotenks like a smaller villain. But essentially they're done, right? They're just kind of like comedy at this point.
Right. They're like the villain. Like they're basically Team Rocket now, I feel. Like they might
They
pop
yeah,
up.
yeah, exactly. Dude, that's the perfect way
That's
to
what
put it.
Pilaf
Team
was
Rocket.
back in the day, man. So
Yeah.
2024 is Dragon Ball going back to its roots. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Black Frieza. He was mentioned in the last chapter. Black Frieza obviously is what's coming down the line. Not saying it's going to happen next month, but it's coming down the line. But the big theory, and we discussed it a little bit back in the summer of 2022 when the Granola arc came to an end, is Black Frieza is going to have a bigger role going forward. Now, we don't know if he's going to be a main villain or just like a Joker type of villain who shows up once in a while then escapes. They could do either thing with him. But one of the big theories has been, now that Black Frieza has recruited Oil and Mackie know the location and the story behind Zuno, the all-knowing Zuno, and a lot of fans seem to think that Black Frieza's plot is going to be to go to Zuno to find out more information about the Super Dragon Balls or gain other knowledge of the universe or the multiverse. So what do you think about that? I'm not saying we're going to get that necessarily next chapter, but how do you think Black Frieza will figure into chapter 102, if at all?
So initially, I thought that they weren't gonna mention him, but once I saw that they didn't just mention him, they actually went in detail
Right.
and had a
They
conversation
had a
about him.
conversation,
It's
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that what Toyotaro wants to do is he wants to now at some point towards chapter 102, he actually wants to reveal not just what Frieza is doing, but what he's actually going to do in the next coming chapters, which I think is going to be using his resources to find where Zuno is and then potentially find the Super Dragon Balls. But I think it's going to go a little bit deeper than that because we also saw that Wiz and Beerus are looking for a replacement God of Destruction. And one of the best candidates is actually Black Frieza if he's able to control his kind of his wanting of being an emperor, which I think may be happening because the previous Frieza, all he cared about was conquering, right? Being the emperor of the universe. But the previous Frieza also didn't train.
No,
And,
this
and
new
we just
Frieza, he's becoming more of a martial artist. Me and Jordan talked about that, and I kind of like that.
he's becoming smarter, he's becoming a martial artist. And honestly, becoming the emperor of the universe, that's small. That is small. I think this Frieza is thinking bigger.
Multiverse.
So multiverse, right? So I totally foresee him either getting the Super Dragon Balls to kind of go outside of the Universe 7, or taking that role of the God of Destruction to then for him to then access more information, access more techniques. So I don't see it outside of Frieza's realm at this point.
Right. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Beerus. Speaking of Universe 7, there was a tease in the last chapter, and it's not the first time it was teased. This has been actually teased going all the way back to like 2015 with Dragon Ball Super, and that is the impending retirement of God of Destruction Beerus. He brought up to Goku, maybe you can be the next God of Destruction. And Goku, of course, he doesn't, that job is boring to him because there's no fighting, it's just destruction, and it's just not his thing. Vegeta might be a better fit for that, but he's also become more of a family man. We've also got Broly, who I think he destroys, but he also feels guilty about it, and you can't have that if you're going to be a Hakaishin. So the Beerus retirement seems to be something that I'm not saying it's going to happen right away, but it almost wouldn't surprise me if when Super actually ends, that's one of the things that happen is that he steps down and eventually just goes to Earth to just eat sushi for the rest of his life and be happy. He might be immortal. So, what do you think about the Beerus retirement? I know you and I talked about some possible candidates for God Destruction. Is that even going to be an important plot point in this chapter?
Not in this chapter. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I do think that is where Frieza could go. But in terms of that being a major plot point, there is still a lot about Beerus. Like he's not ready to retire right now. Yeah, he's lazy. He wants to retire eventually, and that is going to become a plot point in the future. But I just don't see it happening so prominent in this coming chapter. But
Now,
it might get teased again.
Now, real quick, earlier we talked about Red Ribbon and what they're becoming, I guess, Red Pharmaceutical, the two guys left. Is it one of those things where while Gohan is with Goku and Vegeta, we're going to talk about that here in just a moment, that's going to give Goten and Trunks, we talked about that earlier, something for them to do. So the Saiyaman X1 and 2 thing is going to be more of like, to compare to the MCU, we're going to have
Yeah.
Saiyaman X1 and 2 to be like Daredevil and Echo and Hawkeye, the street heroes, and then we've got like the bigger heroes like Goku, Piccolo, Gohan, Vegeta, Broly. That's going to be tackling the big shit. Is that kind of where you see it going?
Yeah, because at this point it seems like they're taking Gohan away from being a B-lister to being now like an A-lister.
Once
Like
again,
he's being lazy in the background. So once he's taken out of the picture, you would think, all right, well, Piccolo is the one who's going to protect Earth. Well, it seems that he may also be taken out of the picture. He seems to be like an important character with his new transformation. So at that point, who do you have left to protect the planet? You're going to have these two characters.
and
So
also
they're going to be
Krillin the cop and his wife. There's others, but those are the two main ones.
those are the two main ones, and Krillin has doesn't even hold a candle next to those two.
Not
So
even close, and it's unfortunate for Krillin fans. So let's talk about Gohan because that's really the main event topic here. The main event topic of this, Dragon Ball Super Chapter 102 preview is the end of Chapter 101. Goku teleports in, sees Gohan after hearing from Whis that this dude impressively defeated Cell Max and has a new power. Goku and Vegeta both felt it when he powered up against Carmine and went back into Beast, and they felt it all the way deep in the cosmos in Beerus's planet. That is a hell of a power to be felt. And of course, the question is, did somebody else in the universe sense it? That could also be a plot point going forward. Because if Goku and Vegeta sensed it, you better believe there's other people out there who probably sensed it too. Maybe even some Galactic Patrol people. But the tease seems to be Gohan sparring to show off his beast power either with Goku, with Vegeta, or with Broly. And I think Vegeta's the least likely, although it would be interesting. However, Gohan versus Goku in a sparring match to see how strong Beast really is or how fast it is, and Gohan versus Broly, the other guy who gets stronger when he gets mad, are both great possibilities. Now, before we get to our topic, I did do a fight breakdown here on this channel for both of those fights. I'll leave a link up in the cards. Me and Prada did a breakdown of Goku versus Gohan and Gohan versus Broly because they're both different fights, different strategies. So, which of these fights do you think we're going to see, and do you have a prediction for what's going to happen with those battles?
Yeah. Before I get there, I just want to say that I know the Gohan fans are thinking, well, we've seen this before. Gohan, he does something great. He says, "Oh man, I should have trained harder." Piccolo calls him, "Man, you're being lazy." "Oh yeah, I have been," and then he goes back to studying. Right? We've seen this pattern before, but this is why this time it is different. The reason that this is different is because we saw that when Carmine came in, Gohan didn't go Super Saiyan. He went straight to Beast. That is a problem. He is doesn't have the self control that we thought he would
Well,
have.
I actually
We all,
disagree. I think he does have the self control because that he knows how to access the form. Whereas remember Goku when he got Ultra Instinct, he was still unsure of how to tap into the silver haired form. With Gohan, he just knows. So I feel like he instinctually, no pun intended, just knows how to go right into Beast.
he knows how to go into it, but can he control it? I mean, the name itself, it's a beast, right? And he always goes into that deep rage. So to go like that against a human, Carmine, who has no powers, to that be your initial reaction to go from 0 to 150, that's a problem. And that is why Goku actually went back and is recruiting him because he's sensing that just like Broly lacks the control, it can be dangerous. Gohan also needs some sort of training,
I
which is
think they're I
why.
think they're different though. I'll slightly disagree with you.
Mm,
I think Gohan has a little bit more control of his faculties. But
mm.
it is interesting to and of course, guys, leave a comment with your thoughts on this debate. But I think it is interesting that Gohan can just go into Beast. Is there any reason for him to ever use Ultimate or Super Saiyan again? I think that those are things of the past now. If you can just do Beast, you know.
Right. So in terms of who he's gonna be fighting, they're gonna put him off against Broly
You think so?
because because Goku sees himself as stronger than Broly. So does Vegeta, right? So there's no point of Goku fighting his own son. Gohan is gonna hold back. "Oh, my daddy, I don't want to hurt you." You know how Gohan is. So what's gonna happen is he's gonna be facing off against Broly, which he has one. It hasn't happened before, really, in a meaningful way. So
No, they
now
didn't
this
even
time
meet. They
he's
haven't even met yet, ever.
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be his. He's gonna see him as an opponent, right? So even though yeah, they're not really friends at this point. They're neutral. So they're gonna fight, and that's gonna be his way of seeing. Look at what happens when you don't control yourself, right? When it comes to Broly. So you have the beast versus the beast. I mean, it just makes sense, right? Not being
Yeah.
that big battle.
Right.
So that's what's gonna happen first. In terms of
And that's
Goku
kind of a
versus
dream fight for a lot of Dragon Ball fans. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be like Broly Second Coming, the movie, or the third Broly movie. Gohan wasn't even in that one. It'll be way different and probably better as far as the story goes.
yes, exactly. So that's gonna be the major fight next chapter, I think.
Okay, but do you see room? Because you're saying that Goku. Look, okay, like go. I agree with you. Gohan might hold back against his dad, right? But Goku's always the one who is testing himself against the strongest. He hears that Gohan's got a new form. He's probably like, you know what? Let's see what I can learn from this. Let's see what this is up close. So, I do think if we don't get it in the next chapter, we may get it in 103 where Goku does want to spar with Gohan, because especially if Gohan thrashes Broly, which I think he will. If Gohan thrashes Broly like Gogeta did, you imagine that kind of power for Gohan? I think next chapter is gonna
Yeah.
have a lot of interesting revelations if they go in that direction.
So that's the point. I agree with you. He's gonna definitely want to be the strongest. If he defeats Broly, he's gonna want to fight him. But the point is, but you're just gonna
Wait,
have to
we
hear my
we
audio for
lost you.
now.
We lost you there for a second. Say it again.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry for that. My camera, the video camera, just died on me, but it's all right. Uh,
Yeah,
it's
he's frozen over here, bro.
I'm
Technical
frozen,
difficulties. We can still hear you though.
but yeah, I'll continue. I'll continue. So, the whole point of him facing off against Broly is that this is a test. It's a test. If you can defeat this one guy, then you can graduate and fight Goku. But also the point is that he can fight his son at any time. Why specifically is he bringing him to Beerus's home planet?
True.
Right? There's
True.
got is because Wiz is also there.
Right.
He can get that additional mentorship, and they can destroy it as much as they want. Right? So, but Broly is that first test. If you don't pass that test, you're not even gonna get to Goku.
I like that though. Like I actually I'm perfectly fine with seeing that, and then everybody's happy. So, Mr. Senpai, first of all, thank you for being here. He will be uploading again. It's planning to upload again later this year, returning to YouTube after a long hiatus. So, welcome back, first of all, and second of all, thank you once again. Make sure you guys leave comments down below with your predictions for chapter 102. See you next time.
Oh yes. See you next time, guys.
Later.